Unsettled. This one was actually asked for us to for me to cover, because you don't really look on the social networking part of the Unsettled.
No, I look at the comments on the YouTubes.
But you don't look on the Twitter?
No.
No.
Not as often as I should.
Can you even log on to it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just me that controlled the social media part.
No, I can. Well, I've got my own Twitter account anyway, so I'll look at that and you can just read the comments from what you've left anyway. So
fair point. So yeah, I got asked to cover this case for our channel, and it is the Lake Bodom murders.
Okay. I swear they've made a film out of this one.
They have. They did. I don't talk about it though. I'll talk about the actual
case,
but
I'm
movie.
I'm
doing
saying.
a movie review.
No, I'm just saying.
Also, as we are recording, you know we won the Funko Pop.
Yes.
Yeah, so we won that. Yeah, I don't know how, but we won it. All the good ones were taken.
Okay.
And we're left with a pig.
A pig.
From the Purge.
We got a Purge mask.
No.
We got a Purge mask Funko Pop.
It's the pig holding a knife.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'm kind of glad we got the pig out of all of them, really. Yeah, kind of goes with the jam.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the jam.
Right.
No, it's a good. Good price.
So hopefully we should get that in a couple of months.
Okay.
It is coming from.
It is coming from.
It's coming from Florida. So yeah, thanks for the pig. When we get it, we'll put it on our desk.
Yeah.
And
we'll tag you in
something. We'll have you in something. Alright, we'll say thanks somewhere and it'll be there. So yeah, today we're going to be covering the Lake Bodom murders. Very popular. Got asked to cover it. Couldn't say half the people's names in it because everyone that took where the murder took place was in Finland, so everyone's name is weird. Yeah. So I'm going to butcher it. So I'm sorry in advance for the people that have died or haven't died or think who have the same name.
Or have the same name
that I've now butchered. So yeah, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and
hit the notification bell for all up and coming videos.
Almost.
So close.
Almost.
Nearly. I was like,
and also, if you've got a case you want us to look at, drop a comment below, and we'll tell you whether we'll cover it or if we have covered it, or likewise. But yeah, technically, we're an investigation agency on YouTube, and we now discuss unsolved cases that people now request.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get straight into the Lake Bodom murders, and I'm going to butcher it like the people that were killed in the murder. So, in the summer of 1960, 4 teenagers set out for a sweetheart's retreat by the shore of Finland's Lake Bodom. Only one would return, and 40 years later become a suspect in the murder of his 3 friends.
Yeah, I've seen the film.
Do I need to read the case then?
Yeah.
Alright,
there's a few films.
Okay. It was supposed to be a pleasant lakeside camping trip. 4 teenagers set out on the sweetheart's getaway with the intent of roughing it in a single tent, perched on the banks of a serene lake. Sounds perfect. My type of getaway. And a fishing
Mine
rod.
too, to be fair. Yeah, with a fishing rod. Sweet as.
Yet by the morning, 3 would be dead, the 4th brutally injured. This became is still Finland's biggest unsolved, unsettled murder. Interesting enough, maybe, possibly, who knows? So, 15-year-old, here we go. Maila Amelia Björklund.
Okay.
Probably butchered it. I'm going to keep saying the name anyway. And Anja, Mäki set out for a camping trip accompanying the 2 very young women who were 15.
Oh.
They were 15 years old, these 2 girls.
Oh dear.
But accompanying them was their 18-year-old boyfriends.
Oh dear.
Legal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I suppose everyone's a
Seppo.
year younger in Finland, aren't they?
Seppo and Nils, that was their name.
Seppo is a name, nice.
Seppo, yeah. They all chose a well-known spot on the shores known in English as Lake Bodom. There you go. Everything went smoothly, nothing odd at all was...
Until a 100-foot alligator came out, and now it's called Lake Placid.
Possibly. But no, nothing out of the ordinary happened until the very next morning, or early hours of morning. That's when it happened.
Right. Okay.
So Niles was the only survivor. He would tell the tale hundreds of times over the next year. His story getting spun vividly out of control. Several times over, yet all facts remain the same. No matter how many times he told his story,
he would tell it differently sometimes, but all the main facts would be the same.
Exactly. Makes sense?
Makes sense.
So far. Okay. Sometime between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the morning of June the 5th, all three were stabbed and bludgeoned to death through their tent.
Ooh.
Right. An attempted attack on Niels left him with a concussion, fractured jaw and several broken facial bones.
Ouch.
Yeah. The scene was stumbled upon by a group of bird-watching boys. Around 6 a.m, a collapsed tent on the lake shore. They also reported seeing a blonde man walking/running away from it. Thoughts so far? Yeah.
So weird.
Okay. Mäki and Boisman's bodies were found inside the tent, yet Maila was found on top of the tent, naked from the waist down. She was stabbed repeatedly even after death.
Ooh.
Okay. 11 a.m, the bodies were discovered by a carpenter, Risto Siren, or Siren. He alerted the police, who arrived on the scene around noon. So they are quite late. By then,
I suppose it's a remote area.
Yeah, but by then the victims had been dead for over 6 hours. That's a long time. Right. Rather than enter the tent, the killer attacked from the outside. Odd. A knife was used, but so was another weapon, yet the police had no idea what.
A heavy like mouse or like mole or bludger or sledgehammer kind of stuff.
Possibly. Okay. Missing items caused the case to be even more odd. Keys to one of the teenagers' motorbikes was stolen.
Okay.
Yet the motorbike remained in the same place.
It's weird.
So he didn't take the motorbike.
Maybe he was disturbed.
Right. Remained shoes were missing, yet found half a mile away with clothing.
Okay.
So
So they took a lot of stuff.
So already it kind of seems like they were possibly killed in the tent, taken somewhere to possibly hide them, then brought them back with clothes. Maybe. Right. The papers would later slag off the police for a shitty investigation. As it seems the police had no idea what they was doing. Right.
As every one of our cases seem to point.
Yeah. The police didn't do recordings of their findings and didn't corner off the area, leaving it open to huge contamination. Okay. So after the police left, curious onlookers and careless campers destroyed the murder scene. The police then called in soldiers to help look and help genuinely gather up evidence that they fucked up on the crime scene. Right? The police did a bad job and needed help. So basically they didn't corner off the tent or where the bodies were found. They thought, nah, fuck it, we'll just take the bodies, we'll take the tent, but we'll let everyone
leave
else...
everything else there.
Yeah. Okay, so the first suspect was a local market salesman.
Sort of trader kind of thing.
Yeah. His name was Karl Vladimir Gistrom. His stall was close to the Lake Bodom. He was known to be hostile to campers. Witnesses claimed he cuts down the tents and throws rocks at them.
Okay, maybe.
Some say they saw him leave the murder scene. He claimed knowledge of the crimes, drunk and sober, yet he was ignored by the police. So the police never actually investigated this man. 9 years later, after the Bowden murders, he drowned in Lake Bodom, suspected suicide. DNA evidence was requested, yet impossible to gather from his body. Okay, the second suspect was Hans Assaman. This is what loads of people seem to think who done it, right?
Okay. Well, is Is that just because he sounds like a blonde German?
Rumoured to be a former KGB spy
Sorry, blonde Russian.
who lived very near to the shores of the lake. He was known to be a recluse. He was always suspected, though none of the accusations stacked up.
Yeah, but you won't think hermits to then go to the tent and utterly destroy it.
Okay. Hans went into Helsinki Surgical Hospital the day after the attack with muddy fingernails, his clothes covered in blood stains. Staff at the hospital said he was nervous and aggressive. Police questioned him, yet he had a big alibi, which he resulted in police not questioning him any further. Maybe it's just the fact he was a fucking spy and they couldn't be fucking asked. Right.
Don't talk.
His clothing...
Just clean.
His clothing was never inspected, yet doctors said it was definitely blood. He also matched the description of the blonde man fleeing the scene, yet when his photograph was put out on the papers, he cut his hair after the picture was released. So it didn't match who
he didn't match.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, police made an arrest 44 years later. March 2004, Nils was arrested and brought to trial. Police said they suspected him all along and said evidence supported their claims.
Okay.
Police said his shoes were worn by the killer during the attack. Evidence was only because they were covered in victims' blood during the trial. They spun a story to say an argument broke out between him and his friend at the time.
Basically, he bludgeoned all of them.
Allegedly.
All of them.
Okay, so claims of Nils being drunk and kicked out of the tent when he allegedly attempted to talk to the girls, the fight broke out. Allegedly, he killed them all in rage. His injuries suffered during the fist fight he had, with his friend. Apparently, this is how the police kind of spun it.
Yeah, they were trying to cover their own tracks, I suppose.
The fact he had minimal stab wounds, he possibly could have done it to himself and hid his shoes, then staged the scene. It seems like the police
coming from an 18-year-old that's just woken up to his friends murdered, I very much doubt it.
Right, yeah, his defence said, due to his concussion and injuries, he wouldn't have walked half a mile to hide his shoes, let alone kill any of them.
And then find his way back.
Yeah, his wounds showed he couldn't have done the murders. Thus, a year after he was arrested, charges dropped and he was set free. To this day, no more evidence was found and no one was charged. Right. A pillowcase was found rolled up. No, it gets weird. It gets weird. Oh, you
used
wait.
it a second.
It gets weird. So a pillowcase was found rolled up and wrapped in elastic bands. Both blood and semen was found on it, yet nothing linking the boys or girls in terms of blood or semen. Right. The police and court said it could have been left by other campers and said they wouldn't include it, yet it could show someone else was possibly outside the tent, used it to come on or bleed on.
Maybe.
I would like to add Nils's wounds to this thought process.
Okay.
So, do you think that...
I don't think they were self-inflicted.
Okay, right. So how could he kill 3 people inside the tent but not be covered in his friend's blood? That's a thought that you need to add, right?
Yeah.
He was found wearing socks ripped and that hadn't left the tent, otherwise his prints would be in the mud or around the lake, which they couldn't find. So he couldn't have hidden his shoes.
No.
Right. All victims suffered broken jaws, which suggests the attacker attacked them all the same way. Don't forget Nils also suffered facial injuries. Yeah. Nils had defensive wounds on his arms as though he'd raised them up to defend himself.
Yeah.
Right. He also suffered a hit to the back of the head which caused cerebral fluid on the brain.
Yeah,
right?
which you can't do yourself. The amount of force that would be needed.
Yeah, so therefore he couldn't have had a he couldn't have walked a mile to then walk back with a concussion, right?
No.
The cut on his cheek was so deep it touched tooth. Yeah.
I've heard of people doing
allegedly when he got arrested,
stuff.
right? Allegedly when he got arrested, the court said all this. They said you did this, you did this, you did this. But how could someone do this to themselves afterwards?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, obviously, you would expect to be under some sort of microscope as being the only survivor.
Yeah, right. So the tent guy ropes on the tent had been cut, so the tent would collapse on the teenagers inside.
And then,
right?
Yeah.
Carl, the store owner, was known to do this to campers, and the day of the murder, he had cemented his well up. Why would you cement your own well up? Oh, I'm bored, some kids have just died. Did I just throw something down there and I don't want people to see?
Well, that's another thing, isn't it?
Like, if this guy had a store or like a little market
that's
trade.
another thing, right? So if this kid had done all of this stuff,
yeah,
the murder weapons would be there.
Yeah, true.
They would be around the area.
True. Thoughts?
Or down in this bloke's cemented well.
Well, I looked up the tent and it looks completely ripped down one side. It looked like some brutal stab wounds or knife wounds had gone through it, right?
So you would expect them to cut the guide ropes.
Yeah.
Like, hit them with some sort of heavy object, like a mallet or a maul or sledgehammer.
So basically,
and then finish them off with a knife.
So, put it bluntly, 3 teenagers got attacked while they were asleep. The guy ropes cut, the tent collapsed, they were bludgeoned and killed and stabbed even after death.
Yeah.
One suffered serious injuries but survived. The police tried pointing it on the guy that survived, yet his defence was he couldn't do that to himself, have a concussion, cerebral fluid.
Yeah, that's some impact, man.
Yeah. And then the case remains unsettled. There's nothing here. Whether it was that Hans Assaman or the guy that owned Carl, Vladimir, whatever.
See, I would, myself personally, it would be the guy that offered himself the market holder.
Yeah. Very possible.
Like, he would be prime suspect. He's got previous
accounts of
like,
being horrible to campers. Yeah.
But, his anger's building at this point. Maybe people keep using his well, maybe like whatever.
Yeah, I mean the fact they didn't. How can I put it? They didn't
because
analyse the pillar case properly.
Well, let's just say they've already screwed up the actual case, mate, before it even started.
Yeah.
So you can expect some sort of we won't investigate the storeholder even though he's got previous because we just can't be asked.
So.
That's my point of view.
Hans Assaman, the spy that shaved his head.
I would love it to be a spy, but I very much
I don't think it was
Maybe it's just
Niels or Niles or whatever his name. I don't think it was him.
No, it's not self-inflicted.
I think the fact that he was in the tent when these 3 people got killed and bludgeoned to death, and he just laid there, acted dead, was knocked unconscious, had a lucky escape, something.
Yeah.
I think that putting a cut into your cheek that deep to touch bone.
To touch bone and tooth, but there's I've heard of people, like
they do drastic things.
They can stick fingers.
Yeah,
they can pull out.
The other
stuff
thing is like if you have killed your friends, like do you go to that extreme length to harm yourself to stop you going?
Bearing in mind he's 18.
Yeah, but then people like as most of probably our subscribers may know. Even people that
can do extraordinary things.
Even people that have killed family members have killed themselves afterwards.
Yeah, but that's like pure take out. Like
just a thought.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah, but that's following it through though.
Yeah.
He just like
maybe he didn't have the guts to go through it.
No. So I'm just gonna stab myself here, but then where's that knife?
All the evidence was.
That's what I mean. Like he's now walked a mile in that direction to hide his clothes and shoes, and then walked back to the campsite, and then he
possibly he did that. Thought about taking the motorbike then threw the keys in the lake.
Yeah.
And thought, actually, I'm going to stage the scene.
While he's bleeding out.
Women bleed and they still go to work. They still go swimming.
No. It's a different kind of blue, but that's fine.
Whatever you think is.
But no, I very much doubt it.
It was one of the two weirdos.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below your thoughts on this. I've probably butchered the name, so I'm sorry if I have. It was just a case that was requested. I personally think...
It was a good case.
I think maybe he possibly could have done it. But then a part of me leans towards the people that are probably dead or killed themselves or whatever. It's a very fucked up case. The police need to do their job properly.
They need to start doing their job properly, mate.
Back then, mate, they didn't give a shit. They just had money.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll just open this case for a week.
Exactly. And then they tried pinning it on someone to possibly get some more exposure and make it look like they're good detectives.
Yeah.
We did a better job. Yeah. Like, who would brick up a well? On the day, like cement a well up.
And then not get that well
the police never
investigated. Like,
it's the police, mate. I told you. So yeah, drop a comment below if you want us to investigate a case, talk about one, give our opinions, thoughts, whatever the hell you want to do. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.